Sunday on Fox, the Saints are looking for revenge from that NFC Championship game loss to the Rams. The headline from that game, of course, the infamous non-call that the league later admitted, should have been called as pass interference. The play is something that is still in the mind of Drew Brees, who, when asked if he'd moved on or forgotten about it, said, quote, "Still haven't, never will." Or will anybody from New Orleans? Shannon, I have always been very nice to you.
Yes.
You should return the favor right now. Who wins this game on Sunday?
I'm not going to help your cause, Jen. I'm taking the Rams because I think the Rams want to prove that they're the better team. And you've heard Sean McVay say there are other plays in the game. And what he's alluding to, they did get the kickoff to start overtime.
They did.
And they turned it over. So there were other plays. They could have prevented us from going down and getting the game time field goal. They could have taken the ball in overtime and marched down the field and gotten the touchdown. And yeah, we would have talked about it, but I guess they would have gotten the ending that they wanted, so no one would have cared. But I think the Rams want to show we're the better team. We're in our building. It's very, very difficult to play in New Orleans because the crowd gets so into it. You get some procedures, but now they're saying you're going to be in our domain. You got to come on our turf and try to beat us in our backyard. And so I think, and both teams, when I look at it, both teams I thought was really impressive. New Orleans got up to a slow start on Monday night, but, you know, the Texans, 14, they jumped out 14-3 on New Orleans, Texans there, and Drew got them going, and then all of a sudden you're like, okay, New Orleans going to win the game. And then they give up a touchdown late, and you're like, oh, man, the Texans, and here's Drew. But as great as Drew was, it still took a 58-yard field goal. It wasn't a 38-yard field goal, Skip. It was a 58-yard field goal to win the ball game. The Rams go on the road to Carolina, and now we're looking at it. Is Carolina really that good? So how impressive was that win
I'm with you
in
on that.
week one?
Yep.
So, but now we get an opportunity to see, and I'm taking the Rams 33-31.
Jen, I got your back.
Thank you.
I got the Saints. I got it high scoring 35-32.
Okay.
But I loved what Drew Brees said. That I'm hanging my hat on that quote.
Yeah. You ain't getting over that.
Still haven't, never will.
No.
And I loved how Sean Payton played this through the offseason because he wouldn't let go of it. Some coaches, we had Jeff Fisher on yesterday, would say, just let it go, move on.
Right.
They didn't move on because they're going to move with this motivation right out to L.A. to get some revenge. And if ever there's a regular season revenge game, it is this one. And I agree with you. The Rams are trying to say, well, wait a second. We were the tainted Super Bowl representatives.
Right,
you know?
NFC,
Yeah. And so there may be some motivation there. But I like this Saints team, and I think they have a chance to win the NFC, even though Dallas will. But that's a whole nother issue.
Can we get 2 cases of doing it?
Well, we got like 5. You've already said they're going to miss the playoffs.
No. I'm talking about this game here.
Oh, this game.
You got the Saints.
Yeah, I'll take one
Brees
case on the
said
Saints.
she'd never seen Drew more depressed than
Yeah,
after that game,
I'm
never in his life. All right, is Vegas going too far with the Patriots spread on Sunday? It is mad. Former Redskins running back and Hall of Famer John Riggins shared his thoughts on Dak and Zeke ahead of the Cowboys-Redskins battle this Sunday. Riggins says that Dak, may be growing this year, but Riggins also thinks that Zeke is Dak's, quote, safety blanket, which allows Dak to play better than he actually is. Dak coming off a 400-yard, 4-touchdown game. However, Zeke says he's now ready to get more involved in this offense. Shannon, do you expect Zeke to become the focal point of the Cowboys' offense?
I just happen to agree with John Riggins, but we'll talk about that a little later. I do, Skip. I do believe he'll become a little more involved in this offense. He had 13 carries, and those 13 carries transpired over the first 3 quarters of the ball game. The game kind of dictated that we don't need to see anymore. Zeke is out of hand, so let's save him. Let's rest him up. I can see a scenario where Zeke probably gets 6 carries in the first drive, especially if it's one of those patented drive that you loved the Dak, and he's just had so many of those 75-yard. 13-play drive that ends with the ball that ends.
3 of them last Sunday.
The Giants are a bad team.
93 yards in 13 plays.
I believe they eased Zeke into it last week. Look, let's see. I mean, we might need him, we might not. But if we don't, let's not just overwork him and run the risk of getting an injury. So I believe that they'll lean on him a little more this week. I think teams are going to make Dak do what he did last week more before they say, you know what, okay, we believe this guy can do it. We need to back off and play coverage. And if Zeke ends up with 100-plus yards, so be it. But if I'm Washington, I'm going to need to see it again. I'm going to need to see it again, Skip. I'm going to see it again. If he can do it again, I think what the really good one can do it, they can do it more times than not. And what makes Brady and Rodgers and Breeze, those guys special, is that they've done it for an extended period of time. Now, Dak had an unbelievable game. I won't short him that. He played unbelievable, even though it was against a bad team. He was throwing to wide open receivers. I think I could have got about 14 completions.
Janoris Jenkins, Jabril Peppers.
That is stop.
Alec Ogletree. Dexter Lawrence. I don't know. Boy, there's some pretty good players out there for the Giants.
Jabril Pepper was playing like Sergeant Pepper. You know that, right?
Well, that means he was all-time great.
No.
Because that was breakthrough, man.
Yeah, breakthrough album. He played like an album. He was stiff. But anyway, I think, Skip, the thing is that if I'm Washington, I'm going to make Dak prove it again. I'm going to make him prove that he can throw for 400 yards and 3-4 touchdowns. And I think that's what you're going to see moving forward. And if he can continue to do that, well, Zeke is about to have him. But Zeke's going to have him. Skip, you don't pay a guy the kind of money that they pay Zeke to have him have 13 carries and for him to be a decoy. Because a lot of that was decoy because they were play actioning. This week, that play action, the ball's going to actually be in his belly.
By the way, just for the record, a year ago in Washington, or at Washington, Zeke didn't exactly run wild. He actually ran mild that day because he went 15 carries for 33 yards and a 2017 loss. So just for the record, he wasn't exactly carrying the team last year when they fell to 3-5 over the first 8 games.
Because your quarterback, what'd your quarterback do?
He had no number one receiver. And when he got Amari Cooper, he went like this, and he's still going like this.
What the really good ones can make an average receiver a number one. That's what the really good ones can do.
Really?
Because you believe Mike Thomas, so you believe Mike Thomas would be Mike Thomas. The Mike Thomas, is that his name? Michael Thomas in New Orleans.
Yeah.
Would he be that without Drew? Drew took that. Would Julian Edelman be what he is without Tom Brady?
No, you got
Brady did that.
Yeah, I don't know about that one.
I do.
But you're talking about the greatest quarterback ever.
Oh, there you go.
Shannon, what's about to happen is, and I hate to be the bearer of bad tidings because you're going to have a long, hard football season, but your tired, old argument that this is Zeke's team. He's the driving force of the Dallas Cowboys. They go as Zeke goes. That's just going right out the window. What's going to happen is this is going to be Dak and Zeke's team. This is going to be a classically and explosively balanced attack.
I hope so.
It'll be just like it was against the Giants, 32 passes to 30 runs, except the 32 passes will no longer be Dink and Dak. They'll be bombs away. They'll be flying circus. They'll be Kellen Moore unleashing the passing attack in ways you haven't seen it because the quarterback has been kept under wraps by Scott Linehan in the past.
Hold on. A guy that
Did I not tell you all offseason? Look out. It's coming. Kellen Moore.
So I'm going to make sure I'm hearing you correctly. The guy that helped Dak win Offensive Rookie of the Year and win 2 NFC East titles kept them under wraps. Oh.
Yeah.
So in other words,
you haven't seen the best stuff. You got to see the first flash on Sunday.
But Skip, this was a progression. So you expected that?
Scott Linehan was on your side. We go as Zeke goes. So they were going to establish Zeke at all costs. In some games, such as that one at Washington, they never quite got it established.
So let me ask you a question. Let's just say for the sake of argument, Scott Linehan is not the offensive coordinator in 2016, and he has this high-flying aerial attack that the offense is going to go through Dak. Do you think Dak they win those NFC East titles? Do you think we see what we see right now?
My quarterback rose above the coordinator for 2 years, 2 full years, and won the NFC East twice in 3 tries. And again, Zeke had a lot to do with it, but it's gone from sort of 75-25 to 51-49 quarterback. That's what you're going to see because the passing attack is going to look all different because it's going to have more impact. It's not dinking and dacking. Remember, for the first 8 games last year, Zeke was the #1 targeted receiver.
Yeah, what did I tell you?
Yeah.
He was dinking and dacking.
All of a sudden, it's Michael Gallup, and it's Randall Cobb, and then it's Amari Cooper. Here we go. Look out.
And then guess what? And who was the #1 rusher in the NFL in those first 8 games? 1, Ezekiel Elliott.
Was he the number one? I don't even know. How did he get away with the 33 yards at Washington? That didn't do him a lot of good.
Yeah, but then he come back with one